Composting is a fantastic way to add needed organic matter to your farm or garden. It can be done on a small or large scale in a multitude of ways. It's also extremely cheap, easy, and can be rewarding if you're into recycling for the sake of the environment. I'm going to go over the easiest method for the do-it-yourself or at home. This method is simply an outdoor compost method, be it a dugout spot in one of your gardens, a trash barrel, plastic storage tote, or a fenced-in standing compost pile. All of these guidelines will apply. The concept is simple. Collect your daily organic food wastes, grass clippings, tree prunings, wood chips, untreated sawdust, shredded newspaper, cut up cardboard boxes, etc., and put them into your desired compost receptacle. I've created a list of all compostable materials that we'll get to in a second. Weather, heat, cold, microorganisms, insects, and worms, and more will continue to break these materials down over time into a fertile compost for you to amend into your soil. These nutrient-rich compost materials will offer your plants the rich nutrients they'll need. This process is like an investment. It will take some time to produce, but is so easy and cheap, the return on your investment is well worth it. If you collect the proper waste and debris all spring and summer, then let nature work through winter, your compost will be ready to amend in the next spring simply by collecting and very occasional maintenance to turn it over and check moisture levels. Stirring the compost up occasionally will let air in and aid in composting. You also don't want to let it get too wet or too dry, as too much moisture will just create rot, and dryness will slow the process down. Things you can compost. Fruit and vegetable waste. Avoid things like orange peels, as the heavy oil content breaks down poorly, as well as highly acidic citrus, tomatoes in large doses, or pickles. The acid within will kill the good microorganisms, and you want those in your compost. Eggshells. They are better for your compost if crushed up. Leaving them out in the sun dries them out enough that they will basically crumble apart in your hand or with light shovel use. Leaves are great. Grass clippings, end of season spent crops, just put them right back in your compost. Weeds, only use weeds if you are sure that they haven't gone to seed yet, or you'll simply be seeding your compost with weeds and nobody wants that. I also recommend that you break them up so they don't replant themselves. If unsure, just skip them. Bush or tree prunings, don't put pieces in that are too large to break down with excessive time. You don't want to have like huge sticks putting back in your garden, so just like twigs and small pieces. Pine needles work great. Wood ash, a clean campfire ash is a great source of carbon for compost. Coffee grounds, most paper filters, and even tea bags work great. Newspaper, buying a shredder is great for this. I bought a shredder secondhand for $15. It was basically like brand new. Cardboard boxes, today's commerce has so much online shopping. The boxes you can get simply stack up. Using them for compost is a great option. A decent shredder will do cardboard as well in smaller pieces. And like I said, I got one for $15 and it works great. Things you shouldn't compost. Breads, meats, dairies, heavily colored or glossy paper, envelopes that come with plastic in them, used napkins or paper towels because you never know what's been wiped up in them and the chemicals could be bad. Pet or human waste, rice, treated lumber sawdust, diseased plants that you might have picked could spread, and for most others just use common sense. Hopefully you have some. It's been a little rainy here, but the open setup of this lets it drain very well. As you add the compost in the pile, simply give it a few chops and bury it again to get rid of any odor. As you can see, we collect our organic waste in coffee cans as the lids seal any of the smell in until we can bring it out to the compost pile. When it's all said and done, come spring, the closer you can get to this, the better, and it will do wonders for your soil.